Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. There seems to be a little bit of technical issues tonight. I seem to be getting a Mattingham claiming first, apparently. But yeah, I seem to be getting some frame drops, so I will be keeping my eye on it as we go on. But so far, it seems to have stabilised again. But I'm going to have to keep my eye on it. But anyway, it was supposed to be Mass Effect Andromeda, but then I remembered I've got a hospital appointment tomorrow, very, very early. And so this stream's a bit shorter than I would normally have done. And I didn't want to start a Mass Effect, get stuck in a mission, and then like 11:15 suddenly going, oh yeah, I've got to be up tomorrow. But anyway, so what have I done since Modern Minecraft Monday? Well, as I said, I was going to take down all of this and move it into the power building, which I'll just take you for a quick tour of it. It has not got its roof on because that was going to be solar panels eventually. But we have obviously the melons that are being produced up there. They are being shipped down, they are being crushed, they are being shipped into this storage bin here, and from that storage bin they are being shipped out. Here we've got the electrolyte separators that separate in the water into hydrogen and oxygen, doing the thing that they need to do. I'll do a quick show downstairs. So downstairs we've got the pumps that are filling a water tank, and that water tank is obviously supplying all the water needs that we possibly need. We have this hydrogen tank here where any excess hydrogen is being stored, but it also means we've got a backup for if there's suddenly a intake of hydrogen that we need. As you can see, this is the ethylene, I don't know, whatever you call it. That is the tank for that. It's flashing because this burner literally burns through it so much quicker but produces so much more power. As you can see, it's burning through nearly a bucket a tick. So that gives you an idea of how much it's going through. Rather than having lots of those little tiny generators, we have one big massive one. The induction casing, so where all the main power is on the floor above, rather than having just a big empty room. I've got some botany pots. I upgraded the botany pots to the mega botany pots, which obviously required me getting another star. So this afternoon I did a bit of building down in the mine, which where I tend to do it is set up the good old nether killing area. So that is literally just down the mine. It's very easy. All you could do is get some wither heads, which again I did some mystical agriculture, spent some time getting the resources that I need to be able to get the essence to be able to make the heads. So literally we have this glass chamber here made out of the mystical agriculture's witherproof glass. So you just put your 4 bits of soul sand, you put the skulls on top, and then you run out of here and run down the corridor a little bit. It'll appear, it'll then explode. You can then go in and beat the crap out of it and get nether stars out of it. Very easy rinse and repeat system. But again, build it underground so that in theory, if it did get out, which the first one did, because it didn't build the glass area big enough, it actually ended up spawning outside the room. It's deep enough underground that it's going to take a long time for it to do any damage and get up to the surface. As you can see, I have removed the fountain and I've replaced it with the clock tower. You know me, I always like to have my clock tower in. Obviously, it's not got any of the workings in the middle. I've also built the very basic power flower so that Project T is constantly getting in, as you can see in the top left, 204 EMC every second. And again, you can go all the way up to the very top of the clock, and as you can see, I have not started any of the create to actually do the clocks yet. So that might be something that we do today, might not. A lot of it will depend on how much time we end up with. So for making the induction matrix, I had to make this beast. What it does is it takes water, turns it into brine, and then that brine is shipped off into this evaporation chamber, where it turns the brine into liquid lithium. Then we have these two machines down here. One concentrator that takes the liquid lithium, turns it into lithium. And then this machine here, which turns the liquid lithium and turns it into lithium dust. Which, as you can see, I've left it going for some time and it's managed to fill that box up. I did have to spend some time in the nether as well, getting some more resources. Again, as you can see, the house, I have moved into it. The mud hut is gone. So I spent a little time throwing together the kitchen. We do have the chimneys mod on, so things like smoke does need to be vented. So it's got the vent underneath there, so if I cook anything, let the smoke go in there, and it will literally just pump out the chimney up there. So obviously, did my little bedroom, used the handicraft beds because I quite like them. They're a bit more fancy than the bog standard Minecraft beds. And obviously, there is nothing up here as yet. Will there ever be anything up there? Probably not, if we're going to be quite honest about it. Other than that, we've kind of set up this here, the tier 3 crafter, to be able to turn the essences into whatever I need automatically. So again, we can just go over here and go, oh look, we've got loads of seeds. Just grab an absolute ton of them. And again, you can get the seeds from all the different plants. Just shove them in there. You can literally just forget about it. And the seed processor will reprocess them into the essence. You grab the essence, you can just run over it and go, rather than having to manually craft it, chuck it in there. It'll automatically tier up to the next tier. If I want the next tier, I can just grab it out there, shove it in there, and it'll get to the next tier, and so on and so forth. Again, pretty simple stuff. Obviously, this is mystical agriculture. That's how I was able to get the wither seeds to be able to make these. Probably need to put a void thing on that. So we'll shove that on that. There we go. And that should just clear out that and just leave it keep going. Digital miner was made in the last episode and it was put down. As you can see, it's now over here. It's now doing its own. I think it's actually probably stopped because the chest that we have attached to it, in theory, should actually be full. And so what I've been doing, like usual, I've been like getting a stack of something. If it's dimes or double it. Because I've been pulling most of the resources that I need out of the project seed tablet, it's literally a case of open the tablet, throw them in, and then anything I've created has all been shoved in there and I can pull out what I need. I don't know what England's done, so we'll go have a look. Might have done anything. You might have done something. We shall have a nosy and find out. That horse has finally got out. That horse has been down here for, well, 3-4 days. And you might have seen Mattingham actually has streamed from the server this week. He's dug a hole. Okay. Raised level. I can hear skellies. Oh, he's got some armour. Oh, look at you running round in emerald armour. Look how fancy I am. That's what he's saying. um, yeah, still haven't quite worked out what the problem is with trees, but trees do not want to grow. And it seems to be any tree, they just don't seem to want to take into the next growth stage. I've used bone meal on them, I've used fertilizer on them, and everything. I've gone through every single config files, and there is nothing to say that they require something special to grow. So I don't know what it is with trees, why I've got an issue. I will continue investigating into it, but at the moment, they just do not want to do anything. So they will sit there forever like that. Crops and things like that seem to be growing perfectly fine. Trees growing in botany pots, again, seems to be working perfectly fine. No issue at all there. I can see the copper's already starting to change with time. You've got no beasties round here. Have you put down a mega torch of some sort? Because I'm not seeing any monsters spawning around here, which makes me think you've probably put down a mega. Oh, okay. Oh, there we spoke too soon. Bunch of skellies all just appeared over there. Obviously, Matthew's got his sheepies and such. I was going to try and get down Mattingham's chimney, well, hey, but he's obviously got his furnace on the bottom. Yeah. Probably don't want to go down there and die of smoke inhalation because it does poison you. So, as you can see, he's got himself a stone cutter so he can start making fancy blocks. He's got a furnace that it looks like he's run out of fuel. He's got a chest. You might want to shut your door because there's gribblings out there. But you have got your transmutation table, which I know Mattingham was trying to get some obsidian for it. And you have obviously succeeded. So what are your plans then, Mattingham? Any plans, or are you just going to be bimbling tonight? Yeah, but you did it all by yourself. Actually, that's really do that through that window with the bridge. Just need a jetpack at some point. Well, I'm actually using the... I spent a good couple hours, I think it was Saturday, and actually managed to find flight. I saw a mob that had purple bubbles on it, and I was like straight over on it, and I actually found flight, which was very, very handy. I had to then get 30 levels to be able to equip it. I've got obviously a few little buffs. These are the other two that I'm obviously looking at the moment. I want to get next level of saturation, and I want to get resistance. What do I need for resistance? 500. Well, I've got 331, so I've got nowhere near enough. Not yet, anyway. Right, let me out. Let me be free. Thank you. Oh my god, there's creepers out here. Bop. 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 So yeah, it's a little mini tour. Looks like Mattingham's building some over there. I am now intrigued. I want to know what he's doing. Obviously, I do have a magnet to help me pick up stuff. Oh, he's building another little thing. I call it a thing because I don't know what it is. Is this your way to your mine? Oh, quite possibly looking at that. That looks very much like it could be your way to your mine. Has he cut all the way through the hill? You've got to go and explore. Ooh. Possibly more resources there at some point. And there's a long tunnel. God, this must have taken you some time. I know it took me probably about 2 hours to dig down to bedrock. Run at super speed, Naz. Run at super speed. I want to know what's at the end of it, if anything. Well, I've got to be honest, when I was setting up the spawn area, that was a royal pain in the backside to do. Like I said, when I spun up the server, I probably spent a good hour, 2 hours being in pretty much a cycle of insta-deaths. I should pick some up then, I don't know what we were. Oh, seeds. Yeah, so he's got himself all the way over here to a bit of a spruce forest. Obviously, you can use the spawn command to just get straight back to spawn, which I will do just to show you. So this is spawn that I set up. I made sure that everything was interactable. So obviously you could interact with stuff if you're a new player on the server. Put you some basic food there, so you've got no excuse to that. Obviously you can just run the road and get straight to the Cobble Kingdom if you keep going that, or towards Mattingham's place. But if you've unlocked the Waystone, you can just zap yourself straight here. Obviously from the Waystones you can get to the Nether in the end, because that's how I've set it up. So you don't end up with 50 million portals all over the place, or going to random places. Right, so what am I going to do tonight? Well, first things first, I'm going to get rid of those things that I picked up. Shove them into the tablet, but I'm also going to, I think, move some of these over, because as we get further into mystical agriculture, you're going to need more essences. Again, this armor is made by, again, mystical agriculture. It effectively has no damage, and it can mine the maximum stuff. So it's like if I ran around and I just mined out a ton of stuff, this pickaxe wouldn't effectively lose durability, neither would the sword. The sword's quite good because, like I said, you can hit creepers with one hit, which is very, very handy, especially when you're trying to get XP for some of the ability totems and such. We've still got the basic cobble gen, which I've only gone as far as using the copper block generator. Do not see the point of going any further. Rather than it being a fully self-contained one like most of the cobble generators, the only one that I found that seemed to work decently and not cause loads of issues on the server was actually this one, which you make that block, you put lava one side, you put water the other side, you put a chest or a storage drawer above it, and it will auto make cobblestone. So if I just grab a bunch out of it, if you look at the numbers, you'll see it just is constantly going up, just ever so casually. And I'll just shove those straight into the tablet, save on a bit of space. I started building some of the walls, or finishing some of the walls, I should say. I've tried to concentrate more on this end of the base at the moment, because we're still having the issue with spiders getting over and the odd zombie things trying mysteriously finding a way over from this side. This side does not have any of the mega torches or anything like that. So mobs, monsters, bunny rabbits, raccoons, sheep, cows, you name it, can spawn in this area freely. But of course, because we've got a little step there, sometimes some of the monsters can literally just do that and they're over. So I do need to finish the wall. I need to finish doing this. Doesn't take too long. It just is a bit tedious. Again, need to do the same on this outside perimeter wall. I've done this side. I've done this bit here. I just haven't gone any further. As you can see, it stops there. So I still need to do that. Need to do all of that side and all of that there. Like I said, I moved all of the power plant stuff in here. I've remembered to put lightning rods up this time so that anything wood up here, or anything that's burnable, I should say, essentially shouldn't get struck by lightning and burn down my buildings like they did in the previous season. I've got the flux ducts doing the handling all the power transfers and things like that, as before. Just trying to think what we're actually using, but yeah, we're using power probably on that, even though it's not actually doing anything. So let me just have a look. What kind of stuff can we just shove in it to actually use the power rather than waste the power? Grab some of that. Deep slate dense. If it was poured, I'd just thrown it away, like that one there. And again, you can just shove stuff in here and it will grind it away to its heart content, put it in the chest above. Stuff that I know you can't grind, or as I should say, or double, I'm just shoving into that one to smelt straight away. Not shove them in the wrong type of stack. And I can just leave that doing that. And again, all I'll do is I just grab the stuff out of there and shove it straight into transmutation tablet. So, plans for today. Plan is, more than anything, get the clock done. So that's going to create. I don't think there has been any huge and massive changes. I don't think. I could be wrong. I could very easily be wrong. But let's have a look. So I'm just trying to find the timepiece bit that we use for the clock. Don't think it's actually called clock. Well, let's find out. Oh, it is called clock. No, it's clockwork bearing. It's not that one. But there is a piece that you use as a clock. Trying to remember what it looks like though. I don't think it's an add-on. I'm pretty sure it's not an add-on. Obviously, we'll just have a quick look through and double check. Obviously, the pink windmill will be returned at some point. It's going to be a nightmare to build. What are you? Not the thing I'm looking for. Got to admit, I'm not seeing it yet. Yes, the pink windmill will return. We all know how you like the pink windmill. Oh my god, what's it bloody called? It's not gearbox. It's they're the bits for just getting it going. We need the bell bits. It's not the encased fan. Obviously, we've got the water wheels that you can make. Mechanical piston, no. Gantry, no. Windmill bearing, no. Is it the clockwork bearing? Let's have a look. It is the clockwork bearing. It's me being an absolute idiot. Shows how long it's been since I've played this. So what do we need to make that? Right, we need to make one of these electron tubes, which means we're going to have to polish some rose quartz, which means we need to get some quartz and some redstone dust. We're going to need 4 of them. So first things first, let's open the tablet. I'm pretty sure I've got some quartz in there. I'm going to grab a stack because we don't know how much we're going to need. We need some redstone. I'm going to grab another stack of that because again, we don't know how much we're going to need for everything. Onto the crafting table, put the quartz down. And we get the rose quartz, which it does have an EMC value. So like everything, open your tablet, shove it in, and take it straight back out. We know we're going to need 4 of these for the 4 faces of the clock. Now we need to polish these, which means that we need sandpaper. I will probably do the usual, bit of paper and some diamond dust. Have you noticed it doesn't say learned when you put something in the tablet? Yeah, it's one of the changes that they made to the mod. I'm not too keen on that, to be honest. I'm kind of like, I wish they'd bring it back. It could be coming back at a later date. It might be in a more, it might be something on an update planned, but you kind of have to see if it's got an EMC value, throw it in it and see if it's there. And if it's not there, you then mad panic and going, where the hell has it gone? Right, so we want the crusher. Shove the diamond in. Ooh, crushed diamond's got an EMC value. Didn't know that. So I'm going to shove that in. And grab some diamond dust out. And then we're going to combine it with hardware error sound. I've told you, Mattingham, I'm so not used to that. Stop it. So diamond grit sandpaper. Again, going to shove that in the tablet. Take it straight back out. Now, if I remember correctly, what you're supposed to do is you chuck it on the ground and then right click with the sandpaper and it makes one. Again, I've got a magnet, so I kind of like have to be a bit quicker with it. And hopefully the ring of repair can fix it. I hope. That might have changed. Oh, the polished rose quartz has an EMC value. It never used to. So I'm going to shove one of them in there. Or in the tablet if I get the right thing. And then whip one straight back out. Right, what else do we need? We need one of these iron sheets. Right, so we're going to have to make a press. That is one thing that I didn't think of. So let's go back to the very basic create stuff. And we want one of these presses, which I can't see it for looking, which is there. So it's a block of iron, andesite casing, which is andesite alloy, which I'm going to have to make an absolute load of. So as usual, do we have any andesite? We do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab 2 sacks of that. I think we've got iron nuggets in here, or at least should have. Grab 2 sacks of that. And we are just going to literally go and make a load of it. It does have an EMC value, so we'll shove one again in the tablet for easy pulling out later. That's what she said. Well, hey. So in it goes. The sandpaper did get repaired. Don't need any more of it for a minute, so I'm going to shove it in my backpack. So what was it for the casing? I've already forgot. So let's have a look. Should be able to just manually craft it, I believe. Yeah. So stripped bark of some piece of wood and use andesite alloy on it. And that will get us our casing. So it's one casing, we need to make some shafts, and we need an iron block. So let's grab an iron block out, which is one of them. The shafts, I believe, are just a line of andesite. No, it's only 2. I thought it was a 3. So we'll grab some shafts. Again, we will stick 1 in the tablet because it has an EMC value, and I'm all for using them if they have it. Right, let's get some wood. So, single piece of wood, put it down, get your axe, right click on it, and it'll take the bark off and leave you with a shaved bit of wood. Gives you a different texture, so if you wanted to build something and give it a different look, you can do that. I do believe it's pretty much any wood you can use. So as you can see, 2 different type woods, and I've taken the bark off. Use the andesite on it, and you got the blocks. There you go, it's just unlocked a load of recipes, it says, even though that isn't the case. So it was block, andesite casing, and a rod, and that gives us the mechanical press. I swear I've got a hair or something in my mouth, and I don't know where it's come from. And before anybody says anything smutty, you're wrong. Right, so I want to build a depot, which again, dead easy, andesite casing and andesite alloy. It's almost as if I planned for it, right? So we want a bit of open space. So over here, because again, why not? We'll stick the depot down, and we'll stick this not actually on it. I'm probably going to need a couple of blocks of something just so I can get the height right. So let's just grab some wood. So what you want to kind of be heading for is air gap, because obviously this here, that's going to come down and smush anything that's on there. Don't think I want it that way round though. So let's just angle it differently, because we want access to this pin here so that we can operate it. We could make, I think it's called the crank, so we can manually do it initially. Which looks like, where is it? I have a feeling that's probably what we are going to do. I think it's called the crank. There it is. Hand crank, which is 3 bits of wood and a bit of andesite alloy. So 3 bits of, was it 3 or was it 2? I'm already forgetting. Yeah, it was 3. And how you can manually operate it is you literally just plonk it on the end there. And then, so we wanted, what was it? We wanted iron, not IOP. And you shove it on the depot, and then you crank it. And there's nothing else that you can do, so you can keep winding the crankers till the days come home, and it won't do anything because on here it's made the 4 iron sheets that we needed. So as we know, iron sheet, the rose quartz gives us the electron tube that we needed 4 of. Property. So on top of that, we need a brass casing, which brass, obviously you can grow it if you've got the materials for it. Right, so it is just copper and zinc. Now, is there any other way to do it other than in here? I would have thought of it. They really not. Otherwise, that's going to be a pain in the chuff to get things like that. Looks like we're going to have to go and get a blaze. That's going to be fun. Okay, no worries. I didn't think to see if those plates could be, if they had an EMC value. So let's just grab another one and make it and have a look. You don't have an EMC value. Okay, no worries. So and we wanted, I think it was netherrack. Was it netherrack? I think it were. So making that. Sorry, that. Yeah, netherrack. So I'll stick these three on there and get it producing them. Again, starting off manual. Don't know why I'm running back. I've got a crafter in my backpack. So those and the netherrack, which gives us an empty blaze burner. Now, to get a blaze in there, you've just got to go into the nether and right click a blaze. I believe. I don't believe that mechanic has changed. So we shall dive to the nether. We'll use the flight that we've got set up. Now there's a nether portal, very close, nether portal, a nether fortress very close to us. Now, where there is a blaze though, that is a good question. Oh, what's that? Sepsis, yeah, I'll take it, you never know. I'll take the diamond horse armour, everything else, not that bothered. So we are looking for blazes. Normally you'll hear them before you see them. What are you? Oh, regeneration, I'll take that. Don't want a chest, I'll take the gold. There's a water wheel there. Okay, I'm not sure what that's for. That is a blaze, I can hear it. Oh, it's got blue bubbles though, so I'm going to kill it because that means it's got a blue ability totem. Right, grabbed him. I'm not going to hang it. Oh, that's why. Spawner literally there. Again, did the usual when I arrived here. I did mark where the waystone was set up. Again, this is accessible by anybody that's on the server. Straight back to the Cobble Kingdom. Right, so this blaze, we're going to shove literally just here. Right, we're going to need one of those cauldrons for it. And I think it is literally just that. Yeah. And obviously that sits on top of it. Like so. Actually, I'm going to drop this down a bit. But not that far. So, you there. You there. I can get access to it there to give it wood. We then need a mixer. Which we're going to have to go back to there. Actually, the mixer is going to come in handy because I'm going to need these for making mud for extra roofing material. So we need what? 5 more iron plates. Okay. What else do we need for it? Do we need anything else? No, it's literally just 5 iron plates. So into that. May as well dump these bits into it. Don't need the rod. Don't need the armor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shove that on there and Let it go in. And like I said, you know when it's done, because if you keep clicking on it, it won't do anything. Oh, it's the blaze. I thought, I can hear burning. I'm thinking, there shouldn't be anything to burn there. There's nothing there. Whole reason was I picked it to be an empty area. Right, so that is the mixing part of it. We need to make another block and we need to make a small cog. So all that wood that I just got rid of like an idiot. I should have kept some of it behind. Let's go for the small cog. And then obviously we need another piece of wood. We need to strip it by right clicking with the axe. And then we need to use a piece of andesite on it to turn it into the block. And then in here it is block, mix a bit, cog, which gives us the actual mixer. Balls. And again, we want to be placing that somewhere. Probably should worry forwards a bit, but well, never mind. Right, obviously you're not going to be able to stick that on there like that. There is ways and means to do it. So I could just go, well, I want that back. And then it's like, right, I then need to make some sort of mini contraption to be able to make that work. Easiest way to do it is get yourself a little cog, attach it to the side of it, stick your mixy bit underneath, and that's that. Right, so before we forget what we're doing, we were making the clock. We want the brass. So the brass. We need 1 copper ingot and 1 zinc ingot. Will make us 2 brass. So we want 2 and 2. So 2 copper. And you'll see they are in the pot. We need to get 2 zinc, which doesn't have an EMC value, so you can't shove that into the pot. And as you can see, they're both in there. We now need to heat this, so easiest way to do it, you should be able to just right click on that. Right click that so it does its thing. You can tell when it's done because again, it won't do anything, and inside should be able to just right click it. And I'm down by smoke inhalation because like I said, smoke does poison you now. And I've got my brass ingot. Quite simple to do, takes a couple of seconds. So I believe it's just, again, a bit of wood, strip it, use the brass ingot on it. And again, you want to be shoving this into the tablet if it'll let you, which it won't. That is good to know. Some things you can, some things you can't. Again, I think the mixer. Do you have an EMC? It doesn't look like you do have an EMC value. Just the cauldron. The cauldron does. So we'll lob that in. Not called a cauldron. What's it called? That one. I'm just going to make another. I've got plenty of andesite. I just can't think what it's called. I'm brain farting. Basin. don't believe that has an EMC value. And again, it burnt through that fuel, so if you're going to do anything like that, do it reasonably quickly. So we need not 4. 3 bits of wood. I think you can, with vein miner, you can strip them in a row. You put them down. I've got the keybind to control, and I can just, and it'll literally select them all, and it will effectively use the vein mine system on it to strip them. A bit like how I broke those ones there. Right, so back to the clock. We just need some slabs of wood. I don't think it matters what wood. I think it can be any. So just go on the slab. We're having 4 clock faces. So that, the brass casing, the electron.
Harder, Daddy.
God, that scared the life out of me. Absolutely scared the life out of me. I'm going to hospital. I'm currently being monitored for my blood pressure. Stop it. Tomorrow's reading is going to be interesting. And anyway, we've made the clock faces. Now we've got to place them. I'm going to grab a bit more wood again.
He's probably gaming. I'll just mute his mic and let him focus.
She wouldn't know. Just mute his mic. Not Mike, but mic. Right, so all the way up to the top. So to put these clock faces in, bit of a roundabout way. I probably should have got more wood, which I'm going to get some more wood. That one. Because we want it facing out, and I don't want to be fiddling about with the tool if I can help it. So I believe if I do that, go all the way down to the bottom, not be able to find the doorway, you know, even though I built this bloody thing, get the clock faces and put them in. Like so. I'm going to have to go back in again and take that wood out. Come on. Then we've got to make glue, which I've got to say I'm very, 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 very thankful that Mattingham went out and found some... oh God, my brain is completely dying on me today. One of these slime balls. God. Because you need that to make glue. You were extremely useful. I were looking for slimes everywhere and I could not find any. So we need another iron sheet and we need another iron nugget. So we want one of them and we want a nugget. We want to shove that on there. I'm going to pinch the crank back. That's got us our sheet. And again, thanks to Mattingham there, getting the slime balls. Oh, slime balls, so I was able to shove it in. I'm able to get glue, which is an absolute godsend, because without that, this would have been impossible. Now, we've got to think of the hands that are going to go on the clock face. I tend to normally start off with putting a block on first, and then that block we stick one of the hands to, and then on the end of that block we then have another block which the other hands go on. So I think I made some of this. The black concrete. I can't say it, can't speak. So what I will do initially is go all the way up here. And I'm going to do Y. So effectively, I've got two blocks there. Black concrete blends together really, really well. Hence the reason that I'm using it. We are going to have to make or at least get a frame for this. And if we just get bog standard frames, go into the frame cutter. And we want to be making the arms for the clock for this. Now, you could do a fence, but I don't want it connecting to anything. So we are looking for, I think it's the pillar. I think pillar is the one that is the full size. Yeah, I think it is. So I'm just going to grab, you know what, I'm just going to grab the whole lot. Because any extra that I have, obviously I can stick in the table. The glue does not have an EMC value, so there's no point shoving that in there. So I can't remember what the order is. One of them is the second hand or minute. It might be the hour hand and the other one's the second hand. I can't remember the order. But we'll just adjust it if need be. Right, the glue. Can I remember how to do this? I will get the other concrete. The actual proper black concrete. You know what? Grab a stack of it now as it makes things so much easier. And so you've effectively got the clock hands. Then you've got to mess about with glue, which is a pain. It's just remembering how to do it. So I think it's shift, is it click? Drag up to where you want it. And then click again. And then the next one you click, drag up and connect it like so. And then that's two separate bits. If you click there and clicked if you click there and clicked all the way up to there, it would glue those all together. You want them separated. You want them glued together as like two separate entities, if you like. So that when you do the clock or get the clock working, the hands move separately. So what I'm going to do now is, rather than do the other faces, because I actually don't remember which way it is that it goes, whether it's the big hand on the outside and the small hand on the inside, I'm going to finish putting the clock together. So I'm actually going to shove those bits in my inventory. You know what, I'm actually going to shove the spade in my inventory because I'm not going to be using that for the minute. So things that we need to do. First thing that we want is we want a gearbox. You want one of these so that we can have the arms going out and attaching to the other bits. I think there is actually a different one that we can use that's from one of the add-ons to create. Not the food, obviously. I've just got to find it. I think it is the 6-way. Vertical 6-way? How's that any different? To me, that doesn't look any different to that. I think it is definitely that one. I don't think there is another one. It's not a creative, because I don't have access to that. Unless I went in super cheaty mode. Right. So it is going to be the 6-way. So what do we need to make this? We need a 6-way gearbox, which is a bog standard gearbox with the large cogwheels that I've not made yet. Bog standard gearbox is andesite casing with 4 cogwheels. And I didn't teach it the mini cogwheels because I'm an idiot. So let's just grab one of those. So that with a spindle gives us a cogwheel, and we will teach that. We will grab 4. We're going to want another andesite, make a casing. So that onto there, right click it, use it, and we've got it. So that surrounded by 4 gives us the gearbox, which again, it'll just unlock some more things for us. So, 6-way gearbox, large cogwheels, again, not difficult. It's literally just a shaft and 2. So for the 6-way, we just need 2, which is quite handy. Obviously, you could have built it from just the andesite casing, 4 and 2 big cogwheels, save yourself a step, but I didn't. So 2 bits of wood, a bit will give us a large cogwheel, which I'm going to teach to the tablet. We're then going to grab 2 out of the tablet. We'll put the gearbox in, add the 2 cogwheels that turns it into the 6-way gearbox. I'm also then going to, don't want the black concrete, I want something that's easier to break. So I'm just going to grab some wood. And we'll make a way up. So that is what? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3. And then the 4th one should be on there. Like so. So while we're here, it only takes 2. I'm actually going to get myself pretty much most of a full stack. As we know, if we get too many, we can always shove them in the tablet. My brain is really not working today. And then we put the arms out to the clock pieces. Right, so that is now collected to all the faces on the clock. So it's really, really handy. The next thing we need to do, we need to make a windmill, which is one of these windmill variants, because that's how I tend to power it. Again, really, really simple. Should be able to make it here. No, it's not the andesite that I want, it was the slab. If I just grab a slab, go into crafting. Oh, I do need a piece of andesite. Andesite, whatever you want to call it. So, in the middle, is it that way? Or is it the other way? That way. And that will give us the windmill bearing. Now, I think you can just shove this directly on top. I don't think there is a restriction to it that says you can't. Now, on top of that, you now need to make your windmill pieces. So, I'm going to use the black concrete. This is the thing that is effectively the windmill sails are going to connect to. So let's have a look. I haven't made any windmill sails, I don't think. So this is going to be fun. Oh, that's handy. They've got them there. So piece of wool, a stake, 2 sticks, and andesite. And that'll give us 2 windmill sails, which again we can teach it to the tablet. So going to the tablet, we want some wool. You're having problems, Mattingham. You seem to be coming in now. Two sticks. And we've got the andesite. Or andesite. What actually is it called? Andesite, yeah. And that makes us the sails. So again, save yourself a job, shove them into the tablet. And I'm just going to grab a couple of stacks of it. I'm hoping that that concrete middle pillar bit for this sail isn't too much. And then you need to make sails. And it is literally just throwing it together like so. Clock is probably one of the most easiest things to do. Again, I'm not sure how many you need. They might have changed it so I actually need it to be outside. It didn't used to be, so I'm hoping it is the same way. Obviously, I don't want it catching on or anything there and stopping it. Oh, did that wrong. Angle of the dangle was not right. One. And in theory, that should be it. Make sure you got nothing in your hand. Right click that, and the clock starts working. Now, these arms should have moved. In theory, that clock piece with the arms should have moved. Let's hope it's actually done what we want. Alright, so in this case, the little hand is the second, and the big hand. So I did have it the wrong way. So your little shorthand wants to be the outer one and the inner one. Sorry, the outer one wants to be the longer one and the inner one wants to be the short one. So you slap yourself all the way up to the top. Right click it so it stops it. All the way down to the bottom. And your clock should reset back to its default start position. So you do need to unglue this, which I think you press, is it shift or control? Yeah. Now that's glued them together. Oh, no, I'm messing this up. Oh god, what was I? That's just gluing it all together. God. Let's ponder it. That'll tell us what we need to do. Yeah, so glue it together. Yeah, we know that's how you glue it together. How do you unglue it? That's what we need to know. Punch it with the glue item in hand. So obviously I'm going to take off all the bits that I made. So, easiest fix for this is actually break that one off. Put that one on. and glue, and then glue it all together. But remember, you're gluing it as individual bits. So right click one, make sure it's got all of it. Right click the next one, make sure it's got all of it. And this time we're going to go around and do it to all of them. So I'm going to put the 2 blocks out first. And then it's short one, long one. I think that's all the faces done. We will obviously use the concrete on it. And again, I love the frames. So you're able to do things like this. Because back in the day, before frames existed, you had to do things like using fences, and then they would attach to each other and they make all sorts of mess. So again, glue them all up. And again, you can just double check them, because if you mouse over them, they glow green. And then if we go back in, right click with an empty hand, the actual windmill part, the base of the bearing. It'll start running again, they'll start twisting, doing its thing. And if you go up, you'll see the big hand's moving, the little hands are catching up. If you're wondering what time it actually is if you look up here, you'll see that I've actually got the world time ticking round. So you can see how accurate it is. And basically, so long as the world or this area is loaded, these clock faces will just keep running. And that's the simple way on how you make the clock face for clock towers. Very simple, not difficult. And it's like your first baby introduction into Create. Like I said, the pink windmill will be coming back at some point. That normally is my food production building that I quite like. But I also quite like to have the clock building run, because sometimes when you're running around, it's just nice to be able to go, oh, it's going to be night soon, find somewhere to hide from creepers. But that's kind of it for the tower. Other things will probably come into the internals of it later. As you can see, I have covered it in lightning rods because for some reason I do tend to get a lot of lightning strikes around here. And I just buggered that up. And again, the great thing is you can just literally shove all of these bits into the tablet and forget about them. Regeneration step assist. I don't want another step assist. I don't want blindness either. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to get rid of this. Do you want a step assist, Magnum? I don't know if he's still on server, to be honest. Oh, yeah, he is. Could do. Hey. I shall come lob it at you then. Turn magnet off. You only need... That's regeneration. Oh, I thought I'd nearly binned it then. I'm going to say, oh, you're not going to get it. You need 13 levels for it to be able to use it. I think this chest is in his... Yes, I can't even put it in there. I shall have to come lob it at your head. underneath. It didn't quite work. So as long as you've got 13 levels, you should just be able to right click it, and I believe it's you click on it in the right window and it puts it to the left. And that makes it so you no longer have to hit jump to go up these bits here. You just walk at it and it'll automatically set you up. And it'll do it sideways, it'll do it backwards if you're backing away from like a creeper. Very, very handy step assist. It's literally just walk at stuff. The only thing that you might find is sometimes if you go to a crafting table, you'll find that you will just kind of climb on top of it. So it's just something to be a little bit aware of, but other than that, it's great fun. Right, well that glue, because I will be keeping it, I'll go into my inventory, as will that. The one thing that I was looking for in those everlasting abilities that I've never seen drop as yet has been night vision. That's one that I really, really miss. Right, so that's the clock tower done. Like I said, very short stream today. Kind of wanted to get that done so you could see how it was done, how it's put together. Yeah, it was a little bit ropey with me because, like I said, it's been a long time since I've done anything with Create, so it's just remembering a lot of it, how it works. Obviously, if anybody ever has any questions, be it on here on Twitch or on YouTube, always feel free to ask me questions. I have no problems answering them the best of my ability. And no doubt if there's other people in the channel, sometimes they might be able to help you or even give you better advice. So obviously that's why I'm going to be leaving it tonight. Like I said, very short stream today. I have a hospital visit very early tomorrow, and obviously I need to make sure that I'm all prepared for it and try and get a good night's sleep and not stress myself out over it. So other than that, that's where I'm going to be leaving it for tonight. No stream tomorrow because I will be having drops in my eyes, which means I probably won't be able to see anything. I have been warned that they do last for quite some time. So getting home is going to be entertaining after the visit to the hospital. But other than that, we should be back Friday as long as there's no complications. And that will be with Star Trek Online. So other than that, take care, don't do anything I wouldn't do, and I'll see you Friday.